This photo might look like it was photographed at night, but it wasn't. It was shot in the middle of the day using an inexpensive $12 gel. And once you understand how this works, you can completely change the look and feel of your work. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I used a CTO gel to turn day into night, and then later, I'm going to show you exactly how you can use the same gel indoors to blend flash naturally with lights in the background. So I'm going to be photographing Onika today on location. I've got this 20 by 24 inch piece of CTO gel, that stands for color temperature orange. Almost all flashes are made to mimic the color temperature of the sun, but sometimes normal is boring. Sometimes you want atmosphere or to convey a feeling, and that's what we're going to do today on location. Okay, I'm using an Electron Maxi white reflector. It's about 16 inches. I think that's about 40 centimeters. Yes, and I'm using this big piece of gel over this because it gives me really good saturated color. If you use a smaller sheet of gels that's around 20 by 20 centimeters or 8 by 8 inches, you can do that, that's fine. It's just usually not as saturated and as good of color as if you use a reflector in a big sheet like this. So that's why I'm doing it, but a little gel inside of a softbox would work as well. The main reason why I'm using this is because I'm going to light her with 3200 degree Kelvin light. I'm going to set my camera to 3200 degrees Kelvin, and I'm going to underexpose the sky by like 2 stops, give or take. We'll see when I actually do it. And that's going to make the sky go really blue. It should give us this day into night look, all because I have my camera set to 3200 Kelvin, which means that's adding a lot of blue to counteract this orange light, and that's what's going to make the environment go blue. But by combining the CTO gel with a 3200 degree Kelvin white balance in the camera, basically that preset setting for incandescent light bulbs, the two basically cancel each other out. So the subject and basically anything the flash is hitting goes back to looking relatively neutral, while the underexposed daylight in the background takes on a much cooler and darker blue tone. Put both hands on the wall, and then push your head away, face away from the wall a little bit. Great. And once you start understanding that relationship between flash color and white balance, you can start shaping mood instead of just correcting color. How in the hell did I... Oh shit, I had the light stand in the photos. I'll really be relying on the AI to get rid of that. And when it comes to balancing flash outdoors, my process is actually pretty simple. The first thing I'm going to do is choose my f-stop based on the depth of field that I want. In this case, I wanted a shallow depth of field, so I was shooting at around f1.2. Then I'm going to adjust my shutter speed and take test frames or use the exposure simulation in my mirrorless camera until the background looks good. Since we're shooting in the middle of the day, we can keep our ISO at 100. Then, finally, I'm going to raise or lower the power of the flash until the subject looks like they're exposed properly. And I'm also using a Tiffin variable neutral density filter today. That way I could stay at my camera's normal sync speed of 1/200th of a second instead of using high speed sync. So shooting with one of these variable ND filters on location like this is kind of a pain in the ass. The reason why, you tend to bump it all the time and then have to like look at the markings on the side and try to get it back to the right spot. But it can be really hard sometimes. So I don't know that I would suggest it over high-speed sync. It is more efficient, but maybe it's more trouble than it's worth. Let me know your experience though in the comments. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Or maybe using a fixed ND filter, like maybe a 4-stop one would be a better move than the variable ones. I actually have a full video comparing neutral density filters, high-speed sync, and reflectors, so if you want to dive deeper into that topic, I'll link to it up here. But the important thing for this video is understanding that we're playing with 3 things to get the look that we need: the ambient exposure, the flash brightness, and the camera's white balance. And once all 3 of those things start working together, you can completely transform the feeling of an image. Techniques like this are exactly the kind of thing you'll learn during my 2-day advanced lighting workshop, and the next one takes place at my studio in Chicago on June 6th and 7th. This workshop is really designed for photographers who want to go beyond just watching YouTube videos and actually start building these setups themselves. We're going to cover things like color theory, gels, multi-light setups, modifier selection, and how to create more polished and professional images consistently. One of the biggest struggles photographers run into is trying to figure out all of this stuff on their own through trial and error, and the goal of the workshop is really to accelerate this process by giving you hands-on experience and direct feedback while you're shooting. The workshop is limited to only 5 photographers, so everybody gets an opportunity to ask questions, experiment, and explore the topics they want to learn. So if you're serious about improving your lighting and you want a more immersive learning experience, check out the link below for more information. While the day and to night effect is cool, CTO gels were originally designed to help you match the color temperature of lights indoors because they are much warmer than daylight balanced strobes. So if you set up a shot with tungsten practicals in the background and then you light your subject with flash, they're going to look or feel cool or neutral and disconnected from the environment. That lighting doesn't feel believable. That's where CTO gels become really useful. By warming the flash, you can make it feel like the practical lights in the room are actually motivating the light on your subject. And once everything starts living in the same color range, the image immediately feels more natural and cinematic. This is also why I think photographers sometimes misunderstand gels. They think of them as something to add splashes of color here and there, but CTO gels are really storytelling tools. Their cousins, CTB gels, or color temperature blue, can cool light sources applying the opposite correction as CTO gels. These can be useful to create the look of moonlight too. This family of color correction gels can be used to create separation, mood, or marry the scene together. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and sign up for the bell. And if you want to take your learning to the next level, click on this video over here, which is all about color harmony and blending colored light. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.